What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and once again I am joined at the toes with
Gersh1.
not just all the toes, but also the kneecaps, because I'm the Sound Alchemist. I feel like I haven't been saying that in any of the recent For the Greater WAAAGH. I just say I'm joined with.
Yeah. I haven't been paying attention. Damn it.
Because I feel like that's the first time I've said this. But anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome to For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. You have it, right?
I do. This question is none other than one from Damon Phelps. If the Chaos Gods were destroyed, what new gods would be created in their wake?
In a scenario like that, I think we have to go straight into emotions. And let's not pick the same emotions. So, for example, like pleasure, rage, even though that's so difficult, right?
It
because
is,
yeah.
We'll try not to, but maybe. Because right now I feel like I know what you're going to say. Fear.
Yep, that's a good one.
Oh, you weren't going to say that?
But no, I was going to say death.
Ah, that's a good one.
Like a chaos god of death.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is a good one. What other aspects of war are like really, really important? Plotting is the same thing as siege.
Yeah. I was going to say despair, maybe, because once you lose all hope, you're kind of just like, whatever.
Yeah, despair would be good. And you could make it be very different than the other ones. Yeah, what else?
I don't know, but like with the fear one, you could have a ton, because you could have fear of the unknown, fear of the dark.
Small holes.
Yeah. And have different demons like encompassing these things.
Yeah.
That's only 3 though. Death, despair, fear. What's another emotion or belief that would generate enough thought or provocation to create a god?
Paranoia.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about how, like, in war, there's always, like, double crossers, friendly fire, just being left behind, like, that paranoid sense of, like, you're all alone by yourself in this war zone. Yeah, so paranoia, I think, would be kind of cool. It would be hard to make a distinction between that and fear, though, because paranoia is fear.
Yeah, I could see it as a part of it.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah, because, like, when you think of the Chaos Gods, it's like, yeah, Zeech is plotting and all this, but there's more behind that. Nurgle's about, like, death, decay, rot, but it's also about perseverance. Like, Khorne's a good example where it's like, you know, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull god, anger, but it's also about being the best swordsman.
Courageous.
Courage, heroism. Slanesh, besides like decadence and perversion, you have perfection. So there's always 2 sides, I guess you can say, to the coin of chaos.
Yep. Another one that I kind of... Because a lot of people say that Nurgle is greed, but if it was a standalone greed god, I think that'd be really cool. Like maybe like a huge... Like not decaying, but like just gluttonous creature. Yeah.
Because then you could kind of go into the whole mythology portion of it. And like, look, oh, well, you have like Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, and what they embody, Dionysus, that kind of thing.
Wine.
Yeah.
Chaos god of wine.
Sadness, that might even be a thing.
Yeah. Sorrow, despair.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Envy.
I think it would be really cool. There is a project of a different world where it's like it's the same template as 40K. So you have the 4 Chaos Gods, you have 20 Primarchs, you have the Emperor, but the person redid every single Primarch, every single Chaos God, and just everything is like different but the same, kind of. It's weird. I wish I remember what the name of the project is called. It has a wiki page. One of the Primarchs is like an Aztec dude. And obviously the Space Marines are Aztec Space Marines.
Oh, is it the what is it, Brotherhood of the Lost, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
They actually contacted us when we were doing like fan lore and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I've done a few videos on a few of their lore, like fan-made Primarchs and chapters and stuff like that.
That's a really cool project. And it's almost like Maybe we should do something like that for the channel. Just do like a alternative universe, like
Right.
homebrew style.
Yeah, and it's cool because like they kind of switched it up where like we don't know the 2nd and the 11th, but we know everybody else's. They created all the other Primarchs, but their 2nd and 11th were the Space Wolves and the Thousand Sons.
Which is weird, yeah.
Yeah. It's called like Brotherhood of the Lost or something like that, and they have a ton of lore, and it goes into like the heresy and whatnot. Really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're called Lightning Bearers is one of the
Main Space Marines.
yeah,
Like they're Ultramarines, right?
basically yeah.
Yeah.
But their Primarch is more based on like samurai aspects and stuff like that. They wield these like power swords. But like it's almost like a baton, but the baton part is like the blade, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's in our fan lore playlist. Thunderbearers, I believe it's called.
Next question comes from Big Earl. Would the Thundercats be considered a good match up against the Orc WAAAGH? I don't think so, no.
Thundercats? Oh!
I thought you were going to say it one more time.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Maybe the Thundercats, if they teamed up with the biker mice from Mars and the Street Sharks, then maybe? Maybe.
Because Orc WAAGHs are huge, so if they put up a good fight, more Orcs are going to hear about it, and they're going to be like, I want to fight a Street Shark.
Yeah. And then by that point, Captain Planet's going to get involved. But once Reading Rainbow shows up, it's over.
Yeah. He's going to educate the Orcs, and then you are the original brain boy.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be like butterfly in the sky? Nah, you can go twice as high.
Wasn't that guy part of Star Trek?
I think so, yeah. Was it Lamar Burton or something?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I heard that they wanted him to be like the new host for Jeopardy.
I thought they already had somebody else.
They already picked 2 people.
Yeah.
One of them backed out because of like allegations or something like that.
Well, what did he do?
Like sexual misconduct or something like that.
Jeez, let's keep it in your pants.
And it's weird because like the dude is one of the executive producers and he's in charge of picking and he's like, I picked myself. It's like, bro.
Yeah. So the other day I was with a friend and he's gonna throw a party and he's gonna have like a best dress competition type of thing. And I was telling him, you're going to remove yourself from it, right? Because, like, otherwise, if you go to somebody's party, you're kind of, you're prone to voting for them because it's just like, oh, well, they threw this party, so let them win. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, of course. And then I thought about it. I was like, I was in a Halloween party once where there was a costume contest, and the host did not take himself out of it, like he was participating to, and he got butthurt because he didn't win. And I just thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, okay, man, that's a weird way to stroke your ego to win a Halloween costume or throw a party to win a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
That's weird. But yeah. Same thing with Lavelle Crawford. Next question.
This one's a big one, but we'll get through it. Fox the Beast. I have to explain my theory first, but I swear it's worth it. So I believe that in order to quell the warp, the Old Ones created humans. They knew the psychically powerful races would destabilize the warp. So, in our DNA, there is a genetic algorithm that resulted in the Emperor's birth. The Emperor was supposed to kill all the Xenos, make all of mankind secular, and this would have starved all the entities in the warp that depended on faith. However, they miscalculated, and just like with the Orcs and Eldar, mankind has evolved unexpectedly, and the Emperor is now becoming a god. So they sent in the Tyranids. It's not a perfect theory, and there are holes in it, like how we don't know if the Old Ones made mankind, but I like the idea of it. The question, finally, do you guys think this theory is plausible? We always talk about how chaos needs the materium to continue their existence, but what would happen if all creatures in real space simply stopped believing in gods?
You still feed them. Even if you don't believe, there is a warp presence. We always use the what is it, a metaphor where like the Eldar are a campfire, the humanity is a torch, and then the Tau is just like a match. Feeding into like the warp. So even if the entire Imperium right now became atheists, did not believe in any type of god, did not worship any type of god, you still feed the yeah.
Humankind is still going to feel anger, lust. They're still going to plot. They're going to get sick and whatnot. So that's always going to still keep feeding into the Chaos Gods.
You do have a good hook in terms of like the old ones creating the Tyranids because they realize that they fucked up, and then they're just sending the Tyranids to completely clean the slate.
Wipe the slate clean.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite theories is that like the Tyranids are here because the old ones sent them, but not so much because the old ones sent them on purpose. I think the old ones were trying to create a new race, and then it just went like it blew up in their face, and the Tyranids consumed the old ones that existed outside of the galaxy, and yeah, it's just basically aliens, like in the Prometheum.
Yeah, I like your theory. It makes sense. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see when the end times comes to 40K.
The Wolfen times, all of the different things are found from Vulcan's scavenger hunt, all that good stuff. Next question.
Go ahead.
From Giovanni Bini. What if the Imperium can gain access to a Webway portal on Luna? I'd love to see the moon transformed into a giant transit station. I don't like transit stations. They always smell like pee. Every time. Every single one I've ever been to. Maybe not Poland. No, even Poland. I was out in the open.
Maybe because they just use ammonia to clean.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Now, as far as like to answer the question, I've answered, or we've talked about this before. I think if humanity went into the Webway, Craftworld Eldar would not be cool with it. Well, no Eldar. Like even the Dark Eldar would be like, what? Like, yeah, we don't want you sniffing around our tubes.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be a bigger threat for humanity, to the point where if they do use the Webway, it'll be for like dire situations. Patrick Smith. So the warp is based on the real world philosophy that evil begets evil. And that's true, right? That's why we protect children. Evil childhoods create evil adults. That's true. The thing is, good begets good, also true at the same time. So I'd like to see a warp region based on the idea of good producing good. The Chaos Gods would hate it, but be oddly limited in the actions they can take against it. Not like weak against light. Still demon gods, but demon gods weak against light.
The problem with that is that the concept of good and bad is subjective.
Yeah.
So like, and I think that's the whole point of the Chaos Gods. For example, rage on the battlefield is technically good because it will make you survive.
Right.
But again, good is subjective because you surviving means killing other people. So is that actually good? So it's and I think that's the whole point of the emotions of the Chaos Gods, where it's like one emotion is neither good or bad. It's just the emotion.
Right. It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The context and the morals we put behind certain things. That's what dignifies and justifies the reason as to why something is good and bad.
Especially in war.
Yeah.
Where like the outcome can easily be seen as negative and can easily be seen as positive depending on what side you're on.
Right.
So I think it would be difficult to do what you said and create an aspect of that. Speaking about like good creates good and like the whole concept of like raising children through good deeds would create good children in the future. There was an episode of Wife Swap where this lady who was like, I guess they always try to get opposites, I guess, in that show, where she went to go live with a family that was very, very organized, was very, very structured, had little like pins and stuff like that would tell them what to do, and they would get stickers for like smiling and being polite and things like that. That kid ended up growing up in that like good, quote unquote, good environment, he ended up killing his family.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't think that the concept of like good creates good, bad creates bad is really even true.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Yeah, because that brings the whole nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the Primarchs. Were the Primarchs always going to fall to chaos? Or was it like in their nature, or because of where they were brought up and the events that happened in their life that shaped them to follow either the Emperor or a Chaos God?
Yeah.
Things to ponder.
This next question comes from Tin Man. First, I would like to say I don't play the tabletop game, but has or is it possible for the Necrons to use human demon hosts in game and in the lore? Human demon hosts, no. Necrons don't really like warp stuff, and a demon host a demon host is like you have to perform a ritual. You have to bind that demon to that conduit, the body, and to do that you need warp powers. Necrons don't have that.
Right. Vertexian. Who would win in a war between Warhammer 40K Orcs and the Lord of the Ring Orcs / WAAAGH? 40K Orcs, I think.
Without a doubt.
Like, they're tougher, stronger. The spore thing just alone would just outnumber them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one comes... Well, no, we already read that one. You got one?
This one is by... Cole Adams. What do they use as a currency? What is so valuable or regulated that someone could buy planets or even sectors with? Electronic money wouldn't make sense as there's no central bank, but nothing physical makes sense to move around.
Safe Moon.
They use thrones.
Yeah, thrones.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's still going to be electronically wired because, again, it doesn't make sense to move like tons and tons of physical money on like a ship where it could get attacked by anything, get lost in the warp. Like, there's too many factors to think about.
No, but then the same could be said about any goods, and those goods are traded.
That's true.
I think that if you actually stop and sit down, if you try to answer these questions about the 40K world, you start to realize that there's no way. It doesn't make sense. But that's just because the galaxy is weird. You need faster than light travel, and I think we sometimes forget that exists.
Right.
So like the concept of like, there's no way that like time management could even be handled in the Imperium. That's because there's a thing called magic, called the warp, that fixes that. Astropathic stuff, yeah.
Because a big thing to notice is, like, say there's an emergency. You got to call 911. They got to send dispatch, drive to where you're at. That takes a long time. Now think about that spanning planets, huge sectors of space. By the time this planet sends a distress beacon, the Dark Eldar are raiding our city. Honestly, by the time anybody even gets this beacon, it could be weeks, months later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why astropaths, telepaths, psychers are so important for transportation, travel, communication.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of stories too of like the bureaucracy of the Imperium messing things up where it's like, yes, there is a distress signal being sent out, and they're like, we need help, we need like resources to this planet, and the Adeptus Administratum accidentally sends the Imperial Guard regiments to the neighboring sector.
Yeah.
And they arrive and they're like, oh shit, we have to make another jump to go to over there. So yeah, it's all discombobulated and stuff. And like we've said in a previous video, blessed is the mind too small for doubt. Don't think about that stuff, man. Yeah. Just have fun.
Right. If the Necrons and the Blood Angels are fighting and the Tyranids space fleet comes in, they shouldn't expect reinforcements. Right. Honestly, nobody should expect reinforcements.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not cool storytelling, and you don't get awesome like, and then the battle barges all showed up at once and they pushed the tide back.
Yeah, that's where fantasy and science fantasy comes in. It's just magic, man.
Right. I mean, they make it make sense when you talk about Star Wars, because it's like, they just travel
The speed or faster than
faster than
speed of light.
speed of light. Yeah,
Warp drive or whatever.
that's how they get to all these different planets, like in a blink of an eye.
But yeah, it's not possible.
Right? Because in 40K, in order to do that, you literally have to go into hell, or the warp,
Yeah.
and you need Geller fields. Who knows where you can come out and whatnot. So.
What time you would come out to.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are Fuera!
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.